This is CBY, Christian Broadcasting of Yakima, your local Christian television station, bringing to our valley quality Christian programming for more than 40 years.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for Good News in the Valley, your local Christian news magazine. Now first, the Interim Executive Director of Life Choices will talk about the upcoming banquet and reveal who their special guest speaker is. Later on, she'll chat with a mom who'll talk about their family's journey and about the support Life Choices provided during her pregnancy, as well as the birth of their son. Then we'll close with a pro-life video. So our featured story this month is Life Choices Clinic and Care Center. Adrian Narug, Interim Executive Director, will give you information on their upcoming fundraiser and remind us all about the good work this great ministry is providing to our valley. Let's now join Heidi as she visits with Adrian.
Well, hi, Adrian. Thank you for coming back onto the Good News. Now, you were here back in January, and during our interview, you were the Development Director of Life Choices, but since then, you have a new position, so tell us about that.
I am currently the Interim Executive Director at Life Choices, so basically I oversee all of the operations. Anything businessy type of that falls under that role, but I'm also doing the job of the Development Director while in the interim. I'm covering both roles.
Now, what are the duties of the interim director?
Well, basically, it's overall oversight, budget management, staff management, operations management, all of it, just kind of oversight, medical. We have a chief medical officer, but then taking that report and reporting it to him, etc. Anything that's requiring management of the organization as a whole would fall under that category.
Okay. Now, remind our viewers what led you into the ministry of Life Choices.
Oh, this again was like a lifelong. I didn't realize that's where God was leading me, but now looking back, hindsight's 2020, right? We were new to Yakima, but the course of events throughout my life have always been exceptionally passionate about life and having myself an unplanned, very young pregnancy. And a center just like Life Choices that really showed me Jesus and showed me hope and opportunity. When we moved to Yakima, and this was a position that was open, it was just, I felt really called to invest myself in the ministry. And really it's not about me, but I feel like I've been prepped for this mission of showing people that even in the midst of chaos, in the midst of hopelessness, God has a plan and a purpose for you.
Yes.
Just lean on Him.
Absolutely. Tell us about the upcoming annual banquet on Saturday, October 7th.
This is our Night for Life. It's our biggest event of the year. I'm so excited about it. Our speaker this year is Coach Joe Kennedy, who is from right here in Washington. A lot of people probably have heard about him. He was the coach that knelt on the 50-yard line and then subsequently got fired for praying. There's a whole story, and I don't want to tell the whole story because it's really good and he's amazing. But through the course of events, took his cause to the Supreme Court and won. And so really solidifying our right as Christians, as believers, to get to pray, no matter where we are. His really was standing on those constitutional principles, but after we were discussing a lot of his life story, seeing if he was going to be the right fit for Life Choices, he shared that his mother was going to abort him. And it was her mom that had convinced her to carry, and eventually he was put up for adoption. And could you imagine? I mean, there was a purpose for this little tiny baby way back when, and here he is in front of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. If that is not testament of purpose, I don't know what is. So his speech and his delivery of his message is just going to be amazing.
He's perfect for the event.
Yes, and there's so much more that I just want to blurt out and tell you, but it's so exciting, and I won't. It's his story to tell, so I'm so excited.
They'll
have to come.
Yes,
They'll have to come here. There's so much more.
Talk about the silent and live auctions.
Right now we have over 89, 90 different items for silent auction. Some of them will be paired together in sets, and our team is still working on anything more that can be added. Everything from gift certificates to baskets of things to, we have this beautiful 5-day stay in Oregon, just all kinds of things. Yes. My husband was super excited about the McDonald's gift cards.
Well, there you go.
He was all kinds of things. But we are always accepting more. If there's a business that wants to get involved and donate something, we absolutely are. I can put you in contact with that person.
How does one register, or do they have to pre-register?
We do need them to pre-register just so we can have the right food account and that kind of thing. But we have a couple different websites. They can always go to our website. But the easiest way is just go to lifechoices.events. And that takes them straight to the website to register. And they can register as individuals. They can choose to sponsor a table if they want. They can choose to be an event sponsor, which gives them all kinds of perks, including meeting Joe Kennedy at a private event prior to...
Incentive right there?
Yes, prior to the actual dinner. So he has been very gracious with his time.
Can you share with us a story of a young woman, because of this ministry, chose life for her baby?
This is a really, really neat story because we just found out about it last week. Sometimes when I talk to our staff about we are planting seeds that we may not ever get to see, I'm reminded of the cathedrals in Europe. The people who worked on them never got to see them come to fruition, but they were so detailed because they were working for God. So then when they have to repair things, they'll take a panel off and there'll be a bird carved in the rafter, whatever. I feel like that's what we're doing. We're planting seeds. So just last week, we had an individual come to our clinic. Actually, it was for an interview for something else, totally unrelated to the center's operation. However, she shared through the course of her interview that she learned about us when her daughter became pregnant. And her daughter was very scared and had already scheduled an abortion for the next day. And when her mom found out about it, in a very miraculous course of events, you can't tell me that there wasn't God's divine intervention in this, she called our clinic, and it was 4:45, and said, I know it's late, can you get us in? And our staff stayed late. They gave her an ultrasound, and she got to see baby's fingers and toes and canceled. That abortion did not go. That baby turned 1 last week. Had our staff said no, we don't have any appointments, had they not been able to get a hold of us, had they not thought of us, really, there are so many people that don't know we exist. We need people to be telling everybody. All of that, we would never have gotten to see this beautiful 1-year-old. Just,
beautiful story.
Just an amazing little person of God. You know, just a really great. And we didn't know. We didn't know a year ago what would have happened.
From that seed
From
that
that
was planted
seed,
a
right.
year ago.
And
Wow.
she had heard about it. The mom, grandma, had heard about it from somebody at her church. So if that seed hadn't been planted just along the way, you know, here's this little person that wouldn't be here today.
Oh, that's such a lovely
Out of
story.
embarrassment. She was afraid. She was ashamed. And she was afraid to tell her mom and afraid to tell her church and afraid to tell her family. And all they wanted to do. And now there's the best thing. Mom says it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh. How many babies approximately has been saved by this ministry?
So I was doing some numbers on this because I really was trying to get an accurate count. And in the same sense of planting those seeds, we don't always know, but just because sometimes they leave and they don't come back and we don't hear from them. But just in the numbers we do have since 1985, when we've opened, there have been thousands and thousands. On average, we serve about, well, this year has been much higher, but on average, we serve about 4,000 people a year. And so if you multiply that with those who have chosen life all the way back to 1985, I mean, it's just thousands.
Go ahead and tell us something about Life Choices that people might not be aware of.
We have so many services to offer. And I think that the misconception is that we only service pregnancy tests for kids, teenagers. I think they have this misconception that teenage pregnancy is the only thing we focus on. However, that is one aspect. Just a couple weeks ago, we had 2 moms over the age of 45 come in with unexpected pregnancies. One very, very well off and just was not prepared, you know.
Yeah.
The other one had some substance use issues. So one of the things that we do is link them to where, like, we can't do everything.
Right.
So we will fill out applications with them, get them enrolled in a substance use treatment program. The other thing we have is a diaper closet. So this is in addition to our Earn While You Learn program, we have this closet that once a month people can just come get a free package of diapers. We had a grant for this that has expired in June. So all of those resources have been gone. So we are totally 100% dependent on donations. And with that, we give approximately 20,000 diapers away a year. So that's a lot. And I've been applying for lots of places to kind of resupplement that program. But that is something that people aren't aware of, that we offer that. We have post-abortion recovery, because we know in today's world we're a broken world. Absolutely. And people don't always understand the emotional, psychological, spiritual effects that abortion might have on them later, be it 3 months or 30 years later. They just don't quite comprehend. And so we want to be there to be that ministry for Christ in that moment too, because there is recovery that needs to happen through there. We offer STI treatment, testing. We have a fantastic fatherhood program. And we're actually going to be launching what we call Daddy Boot Camp. So, you know, if somebody needs to learn real quick, how do I do a diaper? How do I do this? What do
I like that.
With other dads, you know, just things that would have been, we're really taking this survey of dads who have been there, done that.
Yes, yeah.
And what would you have liked to have known? What could you have known? What would you have done differently, better? Those kinds of things. And putting it into a boot camp, a real quick boot camp.
I like the sound of that. Now, Life Choices has tremendously blessed our valley. How has it enriched your life?
I don't think there is a greater paycheck than the paycheck of the heart. And when you see somebody else, number one, find Christ, there is no greater blessing than that, because it's far beyond us. But to watch somebody go from complete hopelessness to, wait a minute, I can do this. Wait a minute, I'm not bad. I don't need to carry shame. I don't need to carry guilt. That's an amazing nourishment of your own spirit. And so I think the blessing in and of itself is just knowing that you're making a difference in somebody else's life.
Briefly go over all of the ministries that Life Choices currently offers.
So we have different components to our whole program. One of them is called, it's kind of like our preemptive program. It's called Think Twice Healthy Relationships. And what that is we target ages 11 through 19 about making healthy choices with your body, your mind, all of it. This is in the school system or in church youth groups or in youth organizations. We call it Positive Youth Development. It's actually a grant through FSBE, which is the federal government, that allows us to go in and talk to kids about how do you make healthy choices so that you can have a good, healthy life. Because we know we want to get them before they have to come to Life Choices, right? We want them to make good, positive decisions for their bodies. So that's one avenue. We have, of course, our STI program and treatment, and then we have our pregnancy tests and ultrasounds. We have our diaper closet. Then we have our Earn While You Learn program, which is really the heart, I think, of where we want people to understand life abundantly. So often in the political world, we are attacked as just being pro-pregnancy. Life Choices is pro-life and pro-life abundantly, the way God intended it to be. So we don't want you just to carry your baby and then go, oh no, now what? We want to teach you how to live life abundantly. So when you enter the program, you get life skills classes, relationship management classes, communication classes. You get a personal mentor that you can talk to, communicate with, share your worries, concerns with, somebody who's walked the road of parenthood and knows how to handle certain things. With that, everything they do, they get points for. And then they get to shop in our boutique with those points. We convert them to dollars. So we're teaching them budgeting. So our goal is that through the course of their pregnancy, they're learning these skills so they can go to the grocery store and they already know how to make a budget with the money they have, and they know how to pay their rent, utilities, and know what to do. We want to teach them life abundantly.
You're like a bridge
Yes.
for them into the real world.
Yes.
I love that.
And in doing that, it gives them hope that, hey, I can buy these diapers for my kiddo, and I'm learning how to positively interact with the other parent of the child. So that's our goal.
Adrienne, before we close, would you like to address our viewers?
I would love to. Life Choices is always looking for people that want to get involved. If you want to volunteer, if you want to, even if it's as simple as, you can run a wire for our doorbell, please come visit us on our website, fill out a volunteer form. If you want to be involved in our live auction or silent auction, we are always looking for people that want to stand in support. Always looking for financial support if that's something you feel led and called to do. That's also on our website if you'd like to do that. Or if you just need prayer, contact us. We will stand with you if you are one of those people who have been hanging on to hurt. Come see us because we're there for you too.
Thank you so much, Adrienne.
Thank you.
And may God bless you and Life Choices.
Thank you.
I'm Heidi reporting for CBY. Skip, back to you.
Thank you, ladies, and don't forget to secure your tickets for A Night for Life. Next is Adrienne interviewing Jessica Hyde, a mom who will share her personal story and her experiences with Life Choices Clinic and Care Center.
Hi, Jessica. Thank you for coming today. We really appreciate you being here. Tell me a little bit about your family.
So I'm a family of 6. I met my husband. We're going on 20 years. We have 4 boys and 1 daughter.
Very busy household.
Very busy.
Well, tell me, how did you first hear about Life Choices? You and I met through the course of your last pregnancy, but it's my understanding that you were there with Scarlett, your little girl.
I was actually there before Scarlett. 15 years ago when I found out I was pregnant with my first son, Tegan.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I Googled it, and that's how I kind of found out about Life Choices. So I've came every pregnancy.
What a great thing. So tell me, what is something that you really love about Life Choices, or how did they help you the most?
Life Choices has been super positive and super friendly, and I just love the atmosphere of it all.
Oh, wonderful. So you got a mentor during the
did.
course of this. Tell me about the mentor. How do you like that?
So my mentor is Cassie, and Cassie is great. I just love her. We've really built a strong connection outside of Life Choices. So she's just been wonderful.
So this last pregnancy, can you tell me a little bit about that and about Sawyer, your son?
So I found out 9 months after my daughter was born that I was pregnant again, and it was not expected. I had postpartum really bad with Scarlett, so we were not planning on any more children. But I guess they had other plans. And so I found out about Sawyer, and we talked about it, and we made a doctor's appointment and had our normal first appointment. And I had my blood drawn, and then it came back that he had a high likelihood of having Down syndrome. I kind of knew what that meant, but I didn't know what that meant as far as pregnancy and life after that. So we followed up with my MFM team, and we had scans, and that showed markers for the Downs. And then we decided to have CVS testing to confirm it because it could have been wrong. And so we went to Seattle and we did that, and that confirmed the trisomy 21. From there, they said that I would just have more appointments, and that we would just stay on top of it, and I'd have my MFM team the whole time. Around my 12-week scan, they noticed a heart condition, which is not uncommon for Down's kids. So I was already kind of expecting some type of heart condition. They sent us to Seattle for an echocardiogram, and that's when we learned about the hypoplastic left heart syndrome. And so we did that, and they took us in a room and they explained what it was, and it's basically the left side of his heart was not growing. They had explained to us that it would be 3 surgeries within his first year of life to kind of correct the defect, and we were trying to navigate that. They told us to come back in our second trimester to repeat it to see if his heart had grown. It didn't. And that's when they told us that the surgery was not an option because the heart condition, along with the Down syndrome, was just too much of a risk. So me and Justin really kind of went back and forth what we were going to do.
What were the doctors recommending you do at that point?
So they gave me all of our options. They told me that I could carry to term and that, you know, we could do the comfort care route, or we could terminate the pregnancy and try again, which that wasn't going to happen. But when they told us about the termination, I really debated about it because I didn't know what that was going to look like for my family. Like, how were the kids going to react? You know, we'd have to pull them out of school. I'd have to get them into therapy. So me and Justin really went back and forth for that. And I actually had a meeting with the doctors, and they described the 3 different procedures that I could have to terminate the pregnancy. And once they went into detail about it, I knew that I couldn't follow through, that there was just absolutely no way, and that I was just gonna give Sawyer the time that he gave us.
How was Life Choices able to help you through your pregnancy with him, even after he was born?
I kept my pregnancy pretty quiet for a while, and once we've kind of decided that we were going to continue the pregnancy and that we were just going to enjoy the time that he gave us, I told Cassie, and you know, we cried, and she shared with you guys, and you guys all started a prayer chain for Sawyer and hoping things that would be different. And Kim offered the ultrasound to get lots and lots of pictures of Sawyer, and then we came back because he was being stubborn and covering his face, and she did it again, and you know, I really, really enjoyed that because those are the things that I have now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, when Sawyer was born, I had the absolute honor of getting to come and see you and him in the hospital, and your whole family had matching shirts.
Yes, we did.
Tell me about that.
So that was actually last minute. I was just happening to scroll on Facebook, and I seen HLHS group that was making shirts, and when I was like, oh, I need that, because we already decided that we were going to have a photographer there, and so I ordered them, and that was really special.
How has your family grown together through Sawyer?
It was been tough. At first, you know, everybody grieves differently, so that was really hard for us to navigate because what I was going through was completely different from what Justin was going through. And, you know, for my oldest son, he didn't want no part of it. He didn't want to, when Sawyer's time came and he was declining, we asked him if he wanted to be part of it, and he didn't. So that was really hard for me after Sawyer passed to kind of navigate not only my grief, but my husband's grief and my children's grief as well. But I think just being very open and communicating and telling them that their feelings are valid, whether it be anger or sadness, or, you know, they're mad at me for not opting into the surgery. It was rough, but I think it's come together stronger as a whole. Like, we communicate very well now, openly about it all the time.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So our whole theme this year is called for his purpose, and you and I have had conversations about Sawyer and how incredibly amazing this little person was. If you could share anything about Sawyer that you would want the world to know, what would you share?
I would probably say that if there are other families facing similar situations where you don't want to do termination, but you're not really sure how to navigate comfort care, just to do the comfort care and to take as many photos and pictures and love on this tiny little being as much as you can. Sawyer was my calmest baby. The groups talk about these Down syndrome kids that just don't cry, and I had 46 hours and Sawyer did not cry. He cried once when he was born and that was it. I had to set my phone alarm that first night every 2 hours to wake him up because he wouldn't have made a peep. He would have been my good baby.
He is your good baby,
He is
right?
my good baby, yes.
So if somebody found themselves in a situation where they had a diagnosis, either with Downs or a heart condition or something like that, how would you refer them to Life Choices? What kind of recommendation would you give them?
I would just say just to go and to have a conversation. I mean, the staff is all wonderful, and you guys are a huge, huge help. And just to seek that, whether it be Life Choices or a therapist, just to reach out because you feel like you're alone in that situation and nobody knows what you're going through. But the sad reality is you're not alone, and it happens a lot.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing Sawyer with us, with Life Choices, with the staff, with the people watching, and we just really appreciate your courage to come and to share him with us.
Of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Jessica, for sharing your personal journey with your precious son, Sawyer. What a blessing Life Choices has been to this community. Mark your calendar and save the date, Saturday, October 7th, to help support this life ministry. Well, that concludes our program. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you, and may God bless America.
This is CBY, Christian Broadcasting of Yakima, your local Christian television station, bringing to our valley quality Christian programming for more than 40 years.